Numerous mysterious events have occurred through history, some of which are known and/or have been solved, while others remain in question. One such event is that of reincarnation, whose stories have been documented by researchers. For years, there have been reports of potentially true stories of reincarnation, with individuals recalling intricate memories of their past lives in detail, too exact to be brushed off as imagination. While some stories of previous life recollection can be dismissed easily, these stories are full of haunting details that defy logic, have stood the test of time in their authenticity, and will leave you wondering whether reincarnation is real or not. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at these 4 mysterious cases of reincarnation. The reincarnation of Dorothy Eady. Among the most fascinating reincarnation stories is that of Dorothy Eady, a woman who is believed to have been a priestess and a pharaoh's lover in her previous life many thousand years in the past. Dorothy was born into a wealthy family from England back in 1904. She led a normal life until that fateful day when she fell off the stairs, injuring her head drastically. Everyone, including doctors and her parents, thought she had lost her life. However, she later miraculously woke and her life was different. The actions of the 3-year-old were not those of an ordinary child, and her parents had noticed it. On many occasions, Dorothy demanded her parents to take her back home to Egypt. She was certain she recalled her previous life, that she was born across the sea in Pharaoh land, Egypt. She also recounted astonishing details from her time as a priestess in Egypt. From the accounts that she gave, she was called Ben-Treshti and served at Pharaoh Seti's court. This child drove her parents crazy, and no one could explain her sudden behaviour change. In one instance, when she was taken by her parents to visit the London British Museum, she acted even more strangely when they got in the Egyptian galleries, which were full of mummies and statues of Egyptian gods and goddesses. She ran towards them and started kissing their feet uncontrollably. Immediately after, she started screaming in an ancient, unfamiliar voice, which shocked her parents even more. At 15 years old, as she was studying the Egyptian history, the teenager had a lucid dream with Pharaoh Seti's mummy, an encounter that resurfaced many memories of her previous life, which made her start filling out her reincarnation puzzle. All of these unfolding events made Dorothy leave Christianity to embrace the polytheistic religion of ancient Egypt. Her ability to quickly learn the Egyptian symbols and hieroglyphs at the British Museum astounded her teachers, but she explained to them that she was not learning a new language, but rather recalling a language that she had forgotten. Dorothy got married to an Egyptian student she met in England and moved to Egypt, where they lived. Upon reaching Egypt, Dorothy kissed the grounds, saying that she was finally home to stay. She had a son whom she named Seti. She tried very hard her whole life to put together pieces of a 1,000-year-old puzzle of her reincarnation. Egyptologists would even later go on to prove the legitimacy of Dorothy's fluency in Egyptian, after they began studying neighbouring native languages that arose and evolved from Egyptian in the area, and found their slang and accents to directly mimic certain sounds, words, and pronunciations by Dorothy. This wasn't the height of her accomplishments, however, as she would later go on to help uncover many locations of ancient Egyptian sites buried beneath sand, discover secret chambers, and assist with the recovery of long-forgotten and hidden ancient Egyptian artifacts. In 1979, the New York Times wrote a piece on Dorothy that regarded her as the Western world's most intriguing and convincing modern case of reincarnation. The case of Ahmad Eady. This case, which is among the earliest of Ian Stevenson's investigations, is the one he considers the strongest. Ahmad Eady was born to a Druze family in Corneyel village, Lebanon, on the 21st of December 1958. As the family narrated later to Stevenson, Ahmad's first words were Jamea and Mahmoud at about 18 months of age. He started talking of his past life, sometimes in his sleep, saying that he was in the Buhamzi family from the Kribi village. He mentioned Jamila repeatedly, saying that she was prettier than his mother and that she wore high heels and loved red clothes. He said he owned guns, a small yellow car, a truck, and a bus. He described, in particular, a fatal accident involving a truck driving over a man and breaking both of his legs, and additional injuries that led to the loss of the man's life. Ahmad talked of a quarrel between the man and the truck driver, and he was thought to believe that the accident was deliberate. He also talked of a bus accident and also expressed the delight in being able to walk. Ahmad's father warned him against making up stories about his past life, so he stopped telling him and confided in his mum and paternal grandparents. One day, as he was walking in the streets with his grandmother, Ahmad recognized a stranger and told him they had been neighbors. It was later confirmed that this person was a Creeby resident, convincing Ahmad's parents that there could be some truth in his statements. Stevenson first interviewed Ahmad's parents and a member of the Buhamsi family in 1964, and later in 1968, 1969, 1972, and lastly in 1973. Ahmad's family recorded that Ahmad claimed to have been Mahmoud Buhamsi from Creeby, married to Jamila, and that he died in a truck accident after a quarrel with the truck driver. Ahmad's family and Stevenson later visited Creeby village and found the house where Ahmad had claimed he had lived. They were able to confirm some of the facts as accurate, and Ahmad recognized his uncle Mahmoud and Jamili. He also recalled where he had kept his gun. From Stevenson's records, Ahmad's case was particularly convincing despite having a few complexities and mismatches in the accounts narrated. The Parmod Sharma story. Parmod Sharma was born on the 11th of October 1944 in India's Bisauli village. At age 2.5, he started telling his mother to no longer cook his meals as he had a wife in Moradabad, a city that was 99 miles in the northeast of Bisauli, who would cook his meals. At age 3.5, he started giving detailed accounts of his past life and businesses he owned and operated with his family members. He particularly mentioned a shop called Mohan Brothers that sold biscuits and soda water, insisting that he was one of the Mohan brothers. Parmod had been a rich trader in his previous life and constantly complained about his family's less rosy financial situation. He hated curd and advised his family not to eat it, mentioning that he had become very sick after eating it in his previous life. He also disliked being submerged in water, which relates to his report of having passed away in a bathtub. He claimed to have been married and had one daughter and 4 sons, whom he was eager to see. He constantly asked his parents to take him for a visit to Moradabad, and they refused, but his mother promised to take him after he learned to read. News of Parmod's recollections reached the Mehra family in Moradabad and visited him in Bisauli, which fit the details of his account as they owned several businesses, including one which sold biscuits and soda water. They recognized the statements given by Parmod as matching the life of their late brother Parmanand Mehra, who was also their business partner. Parmanand had passed away in 1943. He had gorged on curd and subsequently developed a chronic gastrointestinal illness and then appendicitis and peritonitis, which led to his demise. He had tried naturopathic bath treatments and had been given a bath shortly before his death. When he was 5 years old, Parmod, accompanied by his father, went to visit the Mehras, and he instantly recognized most of them, and he also recognized that his office had been changed. The Shanti Devi story. The story of Shanti Devi is among the most amazing documentation of reincarnation, attracting the attention of everyone, including Mahatma Gandhi. Born in India's New Delhi on the 11th of December 1926, Shanti did not speak much in her first years, unlike many young children. When she reached 4 years, however, she started speaking about her memories of another life that she lived. She said that her home was not in Delhi, but instead 93 miles away in Mathura, where she lived with her husband, and she insisted that she had to go back to her son and husband. Her parents discouraged her from speaking of her previous life, telling her to put it behind her and be concerned about the present, which annoyed her and made her run away from home to Mathura. She was found and taken back to her parents. She started speaking of her previous life during school in detail and was even able to recall the names of her husband, children, and what happened when she lost her life. She died 9 days after giving birth. This information enabled the headmaster to locate a man named Kedar Nath, who had lost his wife Luji 9 years ago, 10 days after childbirth. Kedar visited Shanti and her parents using a false name, and she soon identified him as her previous life husband. Mahatma Gandhi was informed of the events and possible reincarnation, and he set up a team to investigate the story. Shanti and the team went to Mathura, where she recognized her home, the furniture layout, and even her family members. She remembered some secrets of family members that someone would only know in confidence. Shanti was also able to tell her husband that he did not keep the promises that he had made to her. She also started speaking in her local dialect. The team concluded irrefutably that Shanti Devi was a reincarnation of Lugdi Devi. Several other researchers did their independent investigations and came to the same conclusion. But what do you make of these 4 interesting accounts of reincarnation? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.